Nate is next in Iowa City, Iowa. Hi, Nate. Welcome to the EntreLeadership Podcast.
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Awesome. Love to hear it. Okay, so we run a small media company that just started a few years ago. We have a staff of 13 people. 3 of them are full-time. Most of our staff contributed to the company before we made any money. We only started making money a couple years ago, and people were just around because they were very passionate about the mission and have really done an excellent job. And we've grown a lot in the past couple years on a top-line basis, and we're to the point where we're really maturing as a company and trying to become a real company from a group of volunteers having some fun together. And the tough thing is of the 13 of us, 4 of us are in the Iowa City area. The rest are across the U.S., and you don't need to convince me that office is important and the in-person collaboration is important, and we really believe that, but we don't know how to kind of shift the culture of the company or even have an office at this point. So I guess I'm looking for some wisdom. Would this be a point, since we're still seeing a lot of growth, to perhaps relocate to a more attractive place from a tax basis or talent recruitment basis? Or is there anything else that you would advise us on for
So you do not have a physical office?
Nope. Everyone works from home.
Okay. And how much money are you guys making? What's your top line?
Last year was a little over $1 million.
And so now everyone is getting paid. There are no volunteers.
Yes, correct. Yes, correct.
And there's 13 people and $1 million top line.
Yep, 3 full-timers, 10 part-timers.
Okay. And the part-timers are doing what? What do they do?
Yeah. So we create content and we write the news. And so what we like is we prefer, and our writing staff is about 7 or 8 of those. And so we prefer having more part-time people in that role for diversity of perspective and diversity of views and diversity of political leanings, so that we can just have more collaboration.
Yeah, it's not unusual at all in those situations just to use freelancers.
Yeah.
Rather than part-time. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just a matter of status.
Yeah, I guess the question is more around on the business side. As we grow out and expand there, we're not really interested in hiring part-time business people. When we view business side of it, we'd way rather have 1 full-time person than 2 part-time people. And so as that team expands, which we need to do in the next 12 years, we're, I'd say, a little understaffed right now. How would you think about
12
location?
years?
No, I'm sorry, 12 months.
Okay, it makes more sense. Okay, whoa. All right. Okay, so what do you think, if your dreams come true at the end of 12 months, what's your staff look like?
On the business side, we maybe have 5 to 6 full-time people, and the writing team really doesn't need to expand at all.
Okay, so you would have, but right now you have 3 business people.
We have really 1 full-time business person,
okay.
And then 2 part-time business people. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where would you move?
We could have the flexibility to move somewhere that would be appealing from a talent recruitment perspective. So, Colorado. There's also the, since we're a pass-through entity, a benefit of somewhere like Tennessee or Texas. I guess that's what we're trying to balance, is how important is that versus staying put, and how can we foster a good culture while we are all, not in an office together.
Well, you're going to be bringing the office together, or you're going to struggle with the culture. That's period. Zoom even called their people back. So you've already made that. Yeah. We've already made that assumption, you and I, in this conversation. All right. So, so the only question is, are we going to do it in Iowa City, or are you going to do it somewhere else? And you need to decide that, I guess. And I don't know. I mean, can you recruit enough business people to do the business you want to do in Iowa City? I don't know. I assume you can, but in a larger, more metropolitan area, 3-4 times that size, would you have a larger pool to pull from? Yes, you would, and it'd be easier to attract people to come to live there and that kind of thing. So, yeah, you need to decide if you're going to make the move or not, if it's worth it. And then you need to look at the overall business model of the part-timers and full-timers and all that, which just sounds like you've kind of parsed that through in your mind on how you're going to do it. And so, once you make that decision, then you go get an office and you tell the business people, we're going to be here. and the part-time, and you're going to allow the part-time model to work from home and collaborate with technology, right?
Yeah. So, yes. And so what questions should we be thinking through in making that decision of whether it's, hey, let's stay here, or hey, let's move there? What are the sort of questions you would think through?
Where I want to live and raise my family is primary. Number two is, can I accomplish my goals if I stay here from a business perspective? And meaning, what are the big blockers here? It sounds like it's a pool of talent. Am I going to be able to get the right kind of people to work here to do the things I want to do in the next 12 months, 24 months, 36 months in order to open an office and start building the business side of this media operation out and make this thing more and more and more profitable and get a little more structure to it, more processes and systems for it so it runs smoother. And, you move from Pathfinder to Trailblazer is really what we're talking about. And can I do that feasibly there? And if you've said, okay, I don't like the tax base, I think the talent base is too small, the population center is too small to have the kind of talent I want, and I think I can find a place that I would love raising my family that's different than this, then you would move. But an example where we didn't move was Ramsey. In the early days, I was in the talk radio business primarily. And we're growing one of the largest talk radio shows in America. And, we've got 680 stations now that carry the Ramsey show. But in those days, it was 100. And the people in the talk radio business kept telling us, if you want to be a national figure in the talk radio world, you're going to have to live in New York or LA because that's where it's always done. And I said, well, I can do New York and LA for about 3 days, and then I'm coming home. So we're not doing that. If you live in New York or LA, I love you. That's fine. I'm not living there. And I love Nashville. I grew up in Nashville. I'm not leaving. Nashville is a tech center. It is a center for talent. So technology and talent, especially around the media world, is all over the place here. It's a major center for that. It's not LA and it's not New York. Thank God. And so we're not leaving. And so turned out I was right. I could do what I needed to do here, and I whipped the people's butt that said it couldn't be done unless I left here and went to LA or New York. So that's an example. But what I did there was simple. What you and I are doing right now, we analyzed, can we do it from a talent pool perspective? Well, I knew there's people that run soundboards and, sound booths and radio and broadcast things and recording. Nashville's a country music. It's, Music City, USA, for God's sakes, So I've got the talent pool here to do the technical stuff I need to do. I knew I could attract the business. It's a major metro area. The tax base is great. I love the value system and the people. It's where I grew up. So I stayed, even though I had people saying you couldn't do it. So you've just kind of got to make that type of a call, Nate. And I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on your situation as to whether you can do this. I think what you've got to have in your head is, can I visualize running a much more traditional business than you have run to this point in an office with 6 or 8 business people running systems while we have these farmed out part-time content collaborators, contributors, that are out of the office? Can I visualize running that and growing that kind of a business with that kind of talent in Iowa City? I could visualize doing our show in Nashville and not having trouble. Now, the only question was, the outside world, did they perceive us as doing the show from a double wide? And some of them are so stupid, they still do, because of stereotypes of the Southerners and so forth. But I wear shoes and I'm not in the double wide. So, but you just got to, you kind of got to get past that part of it. Your customer base is not, they don't care where you are in your case. And our customers were radio stations and people, and did they perceive us as being a big enough deal to put us on instead of whichever other talk radio show we were competing with? So that's what you're looking at. You just got to do an analysis of that, and it really is kind of a thing. You might sit down with your top person and talk this through. But if you can't see in your mind our thing the way we're thinking about it being a big deal in Iowa City, then it's time to go. Or it's time to not do it, one of the two. If you say, I don't want to live anywhere but there, then you probably aren't going to do it if you can't see it happening there. I could see us doing what we have done here. I knew we could do it. So that's what you got to work through. And it's what are the blockers and can I knock them down? And really it is value system, where I want to raise my family, tax issues, and can I draw the talent in that I need to draw, the type of talent, put them in the room so we can get this done.